Hello, class 7th. In this session, we will again see the chapter From an Alien Hand. We will see the chapter from your supplementary reader, An Alien Hand. Okay, the number of the chapter is 4 and the name of the chapter is The Cop and the Anthem. The Cop and the Anthem. Okay, the book is The Alien Hand and the chapter name is The Cop and the Anthem, chapter number 4. In this story, this is also one kind of a story in which a man longs for something strange, something he thinks he needs to be arrested. What does he do? Okay? And this story is written by O. Henry. The author of this lesson is, so the author of this chapter is O. Henry. Okay? In this session, we will see the introduction about the author first, then with the explanation of the chapter. Fine? Let's first know something about the author O. Henry. O. Henry. O. Henry was an American writer whose short stories are known for wit, wordplay, and clever twist endings. He wrote nearly 600 stories about life in America. He was born William Sidney Potter on September 11, 1862 in Greensboro, North Carolina. Okay? And his father, what was the name of his father? His father's name was Algernon Sidney Potter, who was a medical doctor. Okay, and when William was only 3 years old, his mother died. When William was only 3 years old, his mother died, and he was raised by his grandmother and his aunt. He left school at the age of 15, and then had a number of jobs, including bank clerk. In 1896, he was accused of embezzlement. What is embezzlement? Embezzlement means theft or misappropriation of funds placed in one trust or belonging to one's employer. Okay, so he was put into jail because of embezzlement. Okay, he absconded from the law to New Orleans and later fled to Honduras. When he learned that his wife was dying, he returned to US and surrendered to police. Although there has been much debate over his actual guilt, he was convicted to embezzling funds from the bank that employed him. Gaban. In Hindi you can say gaban karna. Okay. He was sentenced to 5 years in jail. In 1898, he was sent to the penitentiary. Penitentiary means he was put into jail at Columbus, Ohio. When in prison, he began writing short stories. Means while he was in jail also, he didn't stop his writing. He was writing the stories in order to support his little daughter, Margaret. His first published story was Whistling Dick's Christmas Stocking, which he wrote in 1899. He published 12 stories when he was in jail. His first collection of stories was Cabbage and Kings, which he wrote in 1904. The next collections were The 4 Million in 1906, including his well-known stories The Gift of Maggie, The Skylight Room, and The Green Door. One of his last stories, The Ransom of Red Chief, which he wrote in 1910, is perhaps the best known of his works. Among its film adaptation are Ruthless People in 1896 with Danny DeVito and Betty Midler, The Ransom of Red Chief 1998, and The Ransom of Red Chief 1911, The Business People 1963 by director Leonard Gaidai, starring Georgie Whitson and Yuri Nikolin. Now these are some of his stories which were also transformed into films. Okay, and this is about our author of this chapter, O. Henry. The Cop and the Anthem. It is a story about a man who wanted to get into jail, or you can say about a man who longs for something strange, something he thinks he needs to be arrested. And why? Let's see. Have you ever heard the saying, be careful what you wish for? Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. The main character of this story is the epitome of that saying. We all think we want or need something. We sometimes even get desperate for it. Sometimes, though, it's exactly what we never wanted. In O. Henry's story, The Cop and the Anthem, Soapy is the main character in this lesson. He thinks the best thing for him is to be arrested. Does he ever get what he wants? Is it really what he wants? We will see this in this story, that why does Soapy wants to get arrested, and does he get arrested, or is it really this thing what he wants? Is it his real wish that he wants to get arrested? Now let's start. It's the beginning of fall. Fall means snowfall in New York. Soapy is a homeless man who is in despair that the thought of winter coming as he sits on a bench at home, which is Madison Square. He will no longer be able to keep warm under newspapers. He starts to think all alternatives. He knows that a shelter in the city will board him. But they ask so many questions. He sets his mind on going to Blackwell Island, or the island as he refers to it. The island is an easy enough space to get to. All he has to do is get himself arrested, shelter, food, rules, warmth, and no questions. Now here our character is Soapy. He was a young man. He left his home and his parents, and he became a vagabond. What is a vagabond? Vagabond is a person who wanders from place to place without any home or any job. Okay? So, Soapy was a vagabond. He had become a vagabond now. He spent his days alone in the medicine square. It was all right in summer because only things which he needed was the newspaper. He used to spread, sleep and also cover himself. There was quite a few others like him who were also there where he used to sleep on the footpath. Okay. But further Soapy thought, what would happen during the winter? What would he do during the winter? He started feeling uneasy. The winter was coming and he felt cold on that park bench where he was sitting. Now he realized that he needed to find some cozy place. He did not think of going to the warmer region outside the country. Just 3 months in the origin of Blackwell's Island, prison of Blackwell's Island. He thought of spending the time in the prison of Blackwell's Island. Was what he wanted. There he was sure to get food, bed every night. He would be safe there. Why? Because there no questions would be asked. Only what the things would be warmth, the one which he wanted in the winter, rules, food and shelter. For spending the winter, the 3 months winter, he needed all these things. He would be safe from cold wind and also from the fear of the police. So he had been to the prison. He had been to the prison for a number of times during the winter. Right. Now all Soapy wants to do is to get himself arrested so that he could get shelter, food and warmth. So what does he do? He sets out to make his way to the island. He knows of a fancy restaurant on Broadway where elitists eat. What is elitist? Elitist means relating to or supporting the view that a society or system should be led by an elite, or you can say demonstrating a superior attitude or behavior associated. Okay, a person who believes that a society or a system should be led by an elite, that is elitist. So what does Soapy do? Now Soapy knows about a fancy restaurant on Broadway. He will go there, order food, inform them that he has no means to pay for it. They will give him arrested and the judge will give him 3 months for certain. It seems simple enough. So he goes ahead to the restaurant. He is already decided what to order. He won't rake up too high of a bill, just enough to fill himself and get arrested. Unfortunately, the head waiter spots him as he walks in with his torn clothes and messed up shoes. He is immediately escorted out onto plan B. Now what does Soapy decide? Soapy decides that he has to go to the prison somehow. So if he goes to any other place, he would have to pay for the room, for the meals. Right now he had no money at all. He might be asked to wash their clothes also. He might be asked many other questions. So rather than replying all these personal questions and doing either works, prison was the better than any other option for Soapy. He would be his own master there. In the prison, he would be his own master. Nobody would ask him. So Soapy thought of the easiest way to reach the prison if he goes to eat at a restaurant. Now the first plan which he made, that he would go to a restaurant, eat the food, and then tell them that he had no money to pay. Okay, then what would the restaurant owner do? They would call a cop and Soapy would get arrested. So this was the easiest way for Soapy to get arrested. Okay, and next morning the judge would send him to jail, and the next morning the judge would send him to jail. His place was clean and his coat was good enough, but as soon as he put his foot inside the restaurant, the head waiter stopped him, looking at his dirty clothes, messed shoes. The head waiter, what did the head waiter do? The head waiter stopped Soapy from entering the restaurant. So now what was Soapy to do? Now Soapy was to move on to plan number 2, because plan number 1 had flopped. Plan number 1 flopped. So now on to plan number 2. What was plan number 2? He started walking on 6th Avenue. That is the name of a road. While walking on 6th Avenue, he breaks a glass window with a stone, making sure a cop was close enough to be the first on the scene. The cop asked Soapy where the culprit was. Amazed, Soapy asks why the cop doesn't think it was him. He realizes that wrongdoers don't just stand and wait for the cops for committing a crime. The cop chases someone else and Soapy walks again. He failed again. Okay, so what does Soapy do? Now his plan A was flopped. So now moving to the plan B, he walks on the 6th Avenue street. He stands near a shop and throws a stone. He next went to a shop with a glass window. He threw a big stone through the glass and broke it. Now Soapy knew that I have broken the glass window. Now the cop will arrive. Okay, so the cop arrived, but the cop did not consider Soapy to have done this. Why? Because if Soapy was the culprit, he would have ran away from there. So the cop did not consider Soapy as the culprit because he had not tried to run out. Okay, and so the cop asked Soapy who was the culprit. Amazingly, Soapy asked him, why don't you think that it was me? The cop said that the wrongdoers don't stand after doing something wrong and wait for the cops to commit wait for the cops after committing a crime. The culprit never stands there, but you are still standing here means culprit is someone else. Okay, so the cop saw another man running and went after him. Now Soapy was very shocked at heart. Why? Because he had failed 2 times from going to jail. He had failed 2 times. Then too, he didn't get. Then too, Soapy didn't sit quiet. His next plan, he moved to his 3rd plan. His next plan is to dine and not dash in a not so upscale joint. He eats and tells them he has no money, and instead of calling the cops, 2 waiters pick him up and physically toss him out in the back alley. Now Sophie is feeling like his plan to spend winter in a prison is a dream. Because after the failure of two plans, now Sophie started thinking that his dream to spend the winter in the prison would not be fulfilled. Because no cop was going to arrest him. His dream of being taken to prison failed again, and for no cop is going to arrest him. So what did he now? He moved to plan number 4. Move to next plan. Just then, he spots a refined-looking woman standing in earshot of a cop. He walks up to her and solicits her, hoping she will scream for help. What is solicits? S-O-L-I-C-I-T-S. Solicits means ask or try to obtain something from someone. Okay? Solicits her, hoping she will scream for help. Instead, she responds positively and says she should buy her a drink. She says that she hadn't approached him first since the cop was nearby. He runs as fast as he can when he gets the chance. Okay? So, what did Soapy do now? He began to shout as he had drunk too much. He thought that somebody would see to this and they would call the cop and the police would arrive and put him into the jail. Right? But other to this, what happened? The cops. Now Soapy started shouting loudly as he was fully drunk. His voice was as loud as he could make. He danced. He cried out. The cop turned his back to Soapy and said to a man standing near him, "It's one of those college boys. He won't hurt anything. We have orders to let them go." Now Soapy tried to act as a drunkard person, but it happened opposite. Okay, what happened? That the cop ignored him, taking him as a noisy college boy. Okay, Soapy was quiet. Was no cop going to touch him? He began to think of the island as if it were far away as a star. He pulled his thin coat around him and the wind was very cold. When he saw a man buying a newspaper, the man's umbrella stood beside the door. Soapy stepped inside the shop, took the umbrella and walked slowly away. The man followed him quite quickly. "My umbrella," he said. "Oh, is it?" said Soapy. "Why don't you call a cop?" "I took it. Your umbrella. Why don't you call a cop? There's one standing at the corner." The man walked more slowly. Soapy did the same. But he had a feeling that he was going to fail again. The cop looked at the two men. "I," said the umbrella man. That is, you know how these things happen. Is that, if that's your umbrella, I am very sorry. I found it this morning in a restaurant. If you say it's yours, I hope you will. It's mine, cried Soapy, with anger in his voice. The umbrella man hurried away. The cop helped a lady across the street. Soapy walked east and threw the umbrella as far as he could throw. He talked to himself about cops and what he thought of them. Because he wished to be arrested, they seemed to believe he was like a king who could do no wrong. Now Soapy was trying each and every plan of his to get arrested and get into the jail for 3 months of the winter so that he could get their shelter, warmth and food, everything. But all of his plans were failing. He shouted as a drunkard person, but he was ignored by the cop, taking him for some noisy college boy. He stole an umbrella that was kept beside a shop door. The owner followed him, but he let Soapy go because he himself was carrying a stolen umbrella. Right? Means Soapy was trying everything to get arrested, but all of his plans were failing. At last, Soapy came to one of the quiet streets on the side. He turned here and began to walk south towards Madison Square. He was going home, although home was only a seat in the park. But at a very quiet corner, Soapy stopped. Here was his old childhood home. Through one window, he could see a soft light shining. That had been his living room, where he had spent many happy, peaceful moments. Sweet music came to Soapy's ears and seemed to hold him there. The moon was above, peaceful and bright. There were few people passing. He could hear birds above high, and the music that came from the room held Soapy there, for he had known it well long ago. In those days, his life contained such things as mothers and flowers and high hopes and friends and clean thoughts and clean clothes. There was a sudden and wonderful change in his soul. He saw his sick fear, how he had fallen. He saw his worthless days, his wrong desires, his dead hopes and lost power of his mind. And also in a moment, his heart answered this change in his soul. He would fight to change his life. He would pull himself up out of the mud. He would make a man of himself again. There was time. He was young enough. He would find his old purpose in life and follow it. That sweet music had changed him. Tomorrow he would find work. The man had once offered him a job. He would find that man tomorrow. He would be somebody in the world. Soapy felt a hand on his arm. He looked quickly around into the broad face of a cop. "What are you doing hanging around here?" asked the cop. "Nothing," said Soapy. "You think I believe that?" said the cop. Full of his new strength, Soapy began to argue, and it is not wise to argue with a New York cop. "Come along," said the cop. 3 months prison on Backwell's Island, said the judge to Soapy next morning. Okay? Now here Soapy came to a quiet street. He stopped there. He heard the music, and that music brought a change in him. He felt very sorry for wasting his life in such a way. And that music changed his soul. He suddenly decided that he would get a job. He would pull himself out of this mud, get a job, and soon there. But as he was thinking all this, a cop came there, okay, who arrested him for hanging out there. Only just he was standing there and staring at that house. A cop saw him and thought that he was a thief just because Soapy was hanging out besides that house. The cop came and arrested him, and the next morning the judge sent Soapy to prison on Backwell's Island for 3 months. Now, what is the moral or the conclusion of this story? What have you understood from this story? The Cop and the Anthem. This is the name of our chapter. Theme of dreams, hopes and plans. Right? Theme of dreams, hopes and plans. One moral of this story is that our goals and dreams, our hopes and our plans for the future might play a big role in determining the course of our lives. Okay, what is the moral of the story? This story has a moral that our goals, our dreams, our hopes and our plans for the future might play a big role in determining the course of our life. Means whatever you think, it can put an effect on your life, on your future. Okay, the conclusion, what is the conclusion? In spite of wrong things we do, there are times when we can realize our wrongdoings and change our life. Many times if we sit idle, many wrongdoing things or wrong things come in our mind, right? But as soon as you realize that you are doing something wrong, immediately change your life, immediately change your mind. The realization that comes into your mind, you should immediately follow it, right? So the moral of this story is our goals and dreams, our hopes and our plans for the future might play a big role in determining the course of our life. And the conclusion of this chapter is, in spite of wrong things we do, there are times when we can realize our wrongdoings and change our life. I hope you must have understood many things from this story. Okay, soon you'll get the worksheet related with this. Till then, learn the chapter, read it again. Okay, the word meanings are there in the book itself. Note it down. Take care of your health. Hope to meet you all soon. Bye.